involves a 727 flight. It was nighttime, about 9 p.m. as I recall. We'd flown several legs that day, landed at Kansas City, the old airport, Kansas City Municipal, where the terminal was longer than the runway. And it was rainy, foggy, barely above minimums. Elmo Dorman was the captain. I was a co-pilot. Denny Hillis was the flight engineer. And we loaded up, taxied out to the runway, and there was a grand commander down at the end of the runway making a run at.
Okay.
I told Tower we were ready. He said, "Can you get around that commander?" Well, it was on the Elmo side, because even on my side, I can only see about 2 feet of the wing out there.
Uh-huh.
Elmo looks out and he says, "Yeah, we can get around." I said, we can get around." So he said, "You clear for takeoff." So we taxi it, apply the power, get about a third of the way down the runway, and that commander says, "Tower, that Braniff that just passed me clipped my wing." Well, wet runway, short runway, Elmo, he hits the reverse thrusters and the maximum braking. We get it stopped, go back into our gate. And this Grand Commander comes to our gate position and pulls in behind us. All the curtains are drawn. 2 guys get out in business suits and ties, and they're not saying anything. Well, the FAA comes out. Our union rep, John Giverson, comes out. And after looking at the airplanes, we don't even have a scratch. But we had taken a plug out of the right wingtip of that commander where the position light is, about as big as my fist. The leading edge device had caught it and just pulled it down. So the FAA finally okayed us to continue on to Dallas. Nobody's ever said anything.
Wow.
Nothing's been said. So Elmo's worried to death about it. So Denny Hillis says, "You want me to write a report and you can look at it and sign it if it looks okay?" Yeah. If you would do that, your regularity report.
Mm-hmm.
So Denny, he did. He filled it out. Elmo looked at it and he signed it. Well, the next time I come to work in Dallas, I've got a note in my mailbox. "See Captain Gravina at your earliest." So I thought, well, I've got a few minutes.
The dreaded carpet dance.
That's right. So I go in his office, have to introduce myself because he doesn't know one pilot from another, hardly at all. And he said, "Yeah, Barton," he said, "that incident up there in Kansas City," he said, "tell me about that." I said, "Captain Gravina, I prefer that Captain Dorman be here. We're going to talk about this." I didn't want him to say, "You said," he said. He said, "Well, I've already talked to Elmo." And I said, "Well, I'd be more comfortable if he were here." He didn't like that answer, not at all.
He wanted to get your story separate.
Right.
See where there was inconsistency.
Right.
Yeah.
So finally he says, "Well, when can you be here next?" So I told him, I looked at my little schedule and told him. And he said, "Well, come in and see me." And I said, "You are going to have Elmo here, right?" "Yeah, I guess." So we get in there and he asked me about it. And he said, "Did you not tell Elmo that looks close?" I said, "Captain Gravina, I can't even hardly see my own wingtip. I didn't know if we were going to miss him by a football field length or 2 inches. Well, he said, "You know, we don't pay you just to sit there." I said, "Okay." He said, "I told Elmo."
You wanted me to get over in his lap then.
Yeah. So he said, "Well," he said, "I've told Elmo we're probably going to give him 2 weeks off without pay. So he may have to give you a week off." I said, "Can I start tomorrow?" Well, the veins in his neck popped out and they got red. And he says, "Now, Barton, that's not the attitude to have." And I said, "Well, I just want to get it over with." I said, "I've got some things I can do." So
I'm a glass half full kind of fella.
Yeah. So he said, well, I'll be in touch. Well, 1 month went by, nothing. 2 months, 3 months. Came through Kansas City again with another crew, and John Galberson was there, the union rep. And I said, John, that deal in Kansas City a few weeks ago, where we got the wingtip of an airplane, I said, what's the story on that? He said, you don't know? I said, no, I don't know. He said, Bill, that airplane belonged to the state of Missouri. U.S. Senator was on board. He was on an unofficial business trip, and he had a lady with him other than his wife. He said, that little accident did not happen. And I said, didn't happen? He said, it's been wiped clean. It did not happen. So he said they agreed they'd take care of their damages. And I said, you mean they got it wiped clear with a tower and everybody that was a witness? He said, I'm telling you it didn't happen. Okay. Well, next time I was in Dallas, had a few minutes there before a flight. See, Captain Gravina's in his office. I went in again. Had me come in, and I said, Captain Gravina, I said, I was involved with that little deal in Kansas City several weeks ago, and you mentioned you might give me some time off. I said, what's the story? He said, oh, Barton, we took care of you this time.
Yeah.
We took care of you.
Yeah.
I said, well, Captain Gravina, I said, I learned a valuable lesson. Now, Barton, that's the attitude to have. I said, yes, sir. I said, I learned if I'm ever involved in an incident or an accident, I want to have at least a U.S. senator on that airplane. The veins in his neck really grew that time. And I said, thank you, sir, and walked out.
Fantastic story.
But that is a true story. And you know, I had a neighbor at that time in Kansas City who was a reporter for the Kansas City Star, and I thought, then I thought, no, I can't win. I can't win against a senator. I'll be the biggest liar there at the state, and I'll end up getting fired over it.
Sometimes you just got to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yep.
As crooked as that horse may be.
Oh.
Oh, mercy. That's good, Bill. Thanks for sharing
But
that.
I'll tell you what, I had some funnier stories doing exams, really, than I did with the airline.
I want to hear some of that too. If you